I got my welder put together. Here, let's go check it out. It is a Lincoln Pro MIG 180. And then I got a Harbor Freight cart to go along with it. And obviously got my welding, my shielding gas. Now, I'm not a professional welder, and I won't say I'm a pro at it or anything like that. But after watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos and getting my bachelor's and master's and PhD off of YouTube from welding, I would say that I did a fairly decent job. I'll show you guys the welds here in a bit, but I'm joking. I'm not gonna say I'm a pro or anything, but yeah, I think I did a decent job. We are going to put exhaust cutouts on the G8. A little bit about the car. It is a 2009 Pontiac G8 GT. It has a fully built LS2 built by Neighbor Racing. Check them out. I'll go ahead and put his page in the description down below. But yeah, it's got a fully built LS2 with a ported LSA blower on it. And it's got other modifications, obviously exhaust headers. So the cutouts that I went ahead and ordered, I found these on Amazon, and they looks like he has some pretty good reviews. They're called Badlanzhpe. And the nice thing that I liked about these, especially from reading the title, it says Badlanzhpe, electric cutouts, and I'm a warranty guy, and they came, it said 5-year warranty right in the title, so I was sold. But yeah, the exhaust that I have on the car currently is a 2.5 inch all-out 2.5 inch Borla. Yeah, it's a Borla catback system. But yeah, so I went ahead and ordered the 2.5 inch setup. So obviously they're flared out a little bit to fit your exhaust. And then that's where the cutout will go, the electric cutout. And then here's the assembly for the electric cutouts. It's actually pretty decent quality. Like, it feels pretty decent quality. Big motor on the side, and then I still haven't read through the instructions just yet, but I'm guessing it's kind of similar to you know, the other names out there where you need to, you know, spray some silicone spray on there or whatever to, you know, keep it from corroding or going bad, I'm assuming. And then this, for these electric cutouts are not the wireless ones. I chose to get the ones that are directly wired in, just because I don't want to carry an extra remote around. But you never know, that might change. He does sell a kit where it's like a plug and play kit along with this where you can make it remote controlled. But I didn't look that far into it. I planned on having a button inside the car, or like a switch inside the car. But here's the switch, and then it looks like we got power, and then the black is ground, obviously, and then looks like we have some quick disconnects here. Just looks like some auxiliary connectors on both sides. So these connect to the switch, and then on this other side you have a female end, and they connect to the cutouts, the electric cutouts themselves. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I've got some silicone spray or PB blaster, just some kind of lube. WD-40 would work. I'm going to go ahead and spray all the exhaust hangers so that it would be easier for the metals to slide out of the rubber exhaust hangers. And then I'm going to go ahead and loosen up all the bolts for that's in the clamps, for the exhaust clamps. The bolts are all 15 mil, and I've got my handy dandy what's it called, stubby impact that I just recently bought from Milwaukee. So first off, let's go ahead and lubricate all these exhaust hangers, just so it's easier to slide these off. And then you want to get these, there's 2 of them up top here. I think that's pretty much it. So you've only got the 2 behind the diff, and then the ones above the mufflers that we're going to lubricate. And then we'll grab our impact or ratchet or whatever with the 15 millimeter socket on it. These actually can stay. Yeah, so we'll keep these on. The ones that I'm going to loosen up are I'm going to try to get this X pipe here all loosened up. So Now I know I'm doing this on a hoist, but you can also do this on, you know, jack stands. I've done many exhausts work or whatever on jack stands before I purchased this hoist. So now what we're gonna do is to get this loose. Sorry guys, there's really no good spot to put this light. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this exhaust hanger off, and now you can see it's got play. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna push the muffler towards the back of the car first to pop that off. Now that came off pretty easily because I just recently had this exhaust off, and I put it back together just recently. And then now that this is hanging, you can go ahead and push back. Boom. That's one side out. And then same thing with this side. We'll pop off this exhaust hanger. There we go. And then just trying to kind of wiggle it. And as you're wiggling, you're pushing back towards the back of the car. Come on. There we go. Now we'll pull back towards the front of the car to get this out of the exhaust hangers. There we go. And that's off. Now for this middle section, this might be a pain to get off. It tends to get really good, like really stuck right here. Now, like I said, I did recently have this off, so it might be a little bit easier for me now to get it off than it will for you guys if you guys have had it on your car for a while. But yeah, so to get this off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab it and kind of like move up and down like this and as I'm doing that, I'm like pulling back on it. And then you could obviously like shimmy side to side and all that. Just don't push on it too hard or anything. Okay. Woo! All right. Go ahead and get that out. Here's pretty much the somewhat finished product. Got the exhaust all put together. Managed to get it where I would like them. And then, you know, first you make all the adjustments and then you go ahead and secure all the clamps. For this process, I did have to kind of beat these in a little bit. You just use a rubber mallet, and it moves. It moves pretty good. Like it moves pretty easily with some rubber mallet tapping here. And then you can see, got my clamps over here. And then as we go over here, we have the cutouts. So I'm hoping that they're not sitting too low. From the ground, but yeah, just to kind of show you guys how my welds look. I know they're not the greatest, but I think for a first-time welder, hopefully I did okay. I know there's probably people that are gonna watch this and be like, "Oh man, you ruined it," but you start somewhere, right, guys? But yeah, and then I went ahead and got some high heat paints and I painted over it to just kind of protect it from corrosion and stuff. Not that I know if it does corrode or not, but you know. Motor part of the cutouts installed. I did hook it up to my jump pack here just to make sure that everything's lined up. Now, when you do go to install this, what I recommend doing is installing the 3 bolts, and then, you know, you're gonna have your lock washer and then your nut, and then you're gonna go ahead and secure it. But I would hand tighten things first and then just kind of like adjust this where you want it. You want to keep this motor safe from anything moving or anything like that. And then you also want to make sure that this is like centered to where this valve isn't going to be hitting like the inside. So what I did was I went ahead and tightened everything down, and then when I went to go run the motor, or when I went to hook it up to a battery, it was this one was actually hitting. It wasn't closing all the way. So now I've got everything hooked up. So just gonna use my jump pack. Got my little switch here. So Close it up. And then open it up. And boom. Now to just run the wires. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna run the wires for this car. But yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys posted. Well, you know, whenever you work on a car and you think it's gonna be like a quick, you know, a quick job. Well, this isn't one of them. Things got kind of complicated. So, all right. Well, not too complicated. I think we'll be okay. So, as you guys can see, I kind of ripped apart the whole center console here. Now, in my car, when I installed my, well, this car has a carbon fiber drive shaft. It's an upgraded one-piece drive shaft instead of the two-piece. It was a slightly larger diameter than the stock drive shaft, so it was kind of rubbing up on the. So if you guys can see, my e-brake is loose, and that's because the line that the cable for the e-brake along with the bracket for it was getting in the way of the drive shaft, and it was scratching up the drive shaft. And the drive shaft is more expensive than replacing an e-brake or whatever. And it's not like I live in a hilly area or anything like that where I probably will need this. Now, I don't recommend. I'm not telling you guys now go rip out your e-brake and all that. But in my scenario, I don't have my e-brake. I don't have a cable for it. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is the bracket where the e-brake will come through, like the line. So what happens is, let's see if I can try to make this as clear as possible. So you see that hole right there? That hole, that's where this goes, right? So so that goes there, and then this like piece of metal tubing, basically looks like a straw, would come out of here, and the brake line would come through that. And then it was attached to this metal fixture. So, yeah. And then this metal fixture, when you would go to pull it, it would pull the brake line, and then your e-brake was applied. So since I got rid of that, I have this bracket that was basically useless, and I figured, you know what, that would be a good spot to run the cables through. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the cables through here, and then what I'm thinking to do is I'm gonna run it through the console box here, so it'll probably come in through here, probably drill a hole or something, we'll see. And then I was thinking to just mount it up to the like a cigarette lighter port, or like a like that cigarette lighter thing. So there's these cigarette lighter things that you can buy off of Amazon or whatever online, and it's got a positive and negative terminal to it. So I think I'm just going to do that and just plug it into that, and then just run the switch from my center console. So let's go ahead and get this all put together. I'm just going to put this back in here, and then probably get the car back up on the hoist, and then we'll figure out how to hold the cables down underneath the car. But if you guys want to know how to take this stuff apart, I guess I can walk you guys through it in a separate video, or maybe when I go to put it back together, I'll probably record myself doing that. But yeah, all right, let's go ahead and put this back. So I'll put it back in its place. So that's what it looks like now that it's back. Let's see if the focus works. And then if you guys can see that I put some aluminum tape on it, but it's more of it's like weather protector tape that I had from when I was doing my patio door. I liked it because it's got some padding to it, and what I did was, since I don't have a rubber grommet, what I did is I stuck it to the bottom of that plate, and then I just kind of made a slice through, and then just like pushed the padding inwards. That way the wiring isn't rubbing directly up against the metal. So let's get this car back in the garage. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like from underneath. There's really no like guides or anything where I can run the lines along, and I couldn't really find any openings underneath this G8 to where I could, you know, just shove it through a rubber grommet. Seems like this is the easiest and the simplest method for me. Just routing it through where the e-brake cable would have been. You can see I've got it held down by some. Now I know you guys are gonna give me some crap for this, but this is temporary until I do some research and see if I could find some like some heavy duty tape or something to. I don't know. I mean, this stuff works great. I mean, it's working great as far as like holding it, and it seems like it's stuck on there pretty good. And you see I got it going up to the other side as well. But this is just I believe it says Pella on it. It's just like it's some like weather tape for like when you're installing windows or a patio or something. You put this tape on the like on the edges before you go to put the frame on. But yeah, I'm gonna see how this holds up for now. I just needed something to hold it in place until I look into maybe some like Dynamat or something like that. I don't know. If you have any recommendations for what I could use to, you know, hold the wire up against the wall and, you know, kind of protect it from the exhaust and the drive shaft, then, you know, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done from underneath. So these are the two power lines that we have running from underneath the car. I'm gonna run these long ways like that, just kind of get them organized. All right. And then in the console, the middle console, the section that goes right here, I did go ahead and drill a 3/4 of an inch size hole right there. That's the front, and then you can see where the cup holders are. So we'll go ahead and run these through there. Hopefully I'm gonna have space to store all this wiring. I really don't want to cut into it and redo it or anything like that. Alright guys, so I got the cable nice and wind up and then zip tied. I'm gonna leave that in there, and then I'm gonna grab my two cables, and then the center console right here, I've got a 3/4 of an inch diameter or whatever. I've got a hole drilled right there. It's towards the front of it. So we're gonna run these two through here. All right. And then we'll set this back in. So to set this in, you gotta start with the front first. There's two clips in the front. You gotta push them in on both sides. My left side is actually broken, so I just have to do my right side. Oh, and then before you bring this all the way down, gotta make sure you plug in your power supply here. That plug is for the cigarette lighter outlet on the side. Make sure that's out of the way. That goes there. Okay, just like that. Okay. Now that this is in place, we're gonna go ahead and grab our Phillips screwdrivers, or our Phillips screws with the Phillips head. Let's get this on the right setting. I don't want to strip anything. Close this up. So there's a Phillips head or a Phillips screw that goes inside the cup holder, and then there's this side pocket thing. You gotta line them up. Oh, actually, before we do that, I believe that goes. Okay, so that's for the e-brake. Oh gosh, I don't remember where this went. Okay, guys. So after you get the Phillips screw into the cup holder, we're gonna go ahead and there's this like side pocket looking thing. Just make sure one thing. All right. So after you guys get all right, guys, so now that we have the Phillips screw inside the cup holder, we have that one installed. We're gonna grab this thing, this little pocket. You can see it's got the white tab coming out my way. So this will actually go in sideways like this. So there's actually a guide on the back side, so you gotta slide it into the guide and then pop the front of it inward. And then you have this section that goes on top of it. And then there's two Phillips. And then you have this big pocket right here, but this is the pocket that goes underneath the e-brake handle. So just like that. And then there's a Phillips screw on the top and the bottom. Okay. Now you can install this bezel. So this bezel is all one piece. Now be careful when you go to pop this out. What I recommend, well, you don't want to break. These have a tendency to break right here. You can see there's a weak link right there. What you want to do is you can grab like a flathead screwdriver or like a trim removal tool. And what I did was I kind of like pried up on one side, got my trim removal tool and just like slid it down, and then I popped this one out, popped that one out, and then same thing on this side, just kind of like, you know, pull on this a little bit, get your removal tool in, and then just kind of like slide it down, and then it'll like pop these out. And then be careful here as well when you go to pull these out, that you're not going too excessive on the weak points. But before we put that in, there's two electrical plugs that we need to put in. So we got one up top, and then there's one on the bottom, just like that. And now we can go ahead and install everything. Should just pop into place. All right. Perfect. Now there's this part. So we push in the front, push it into place, and then pop in the back part of it. And then when you go to take this off, you're gonna grab your trim removal tool or your flathead screwdriver, and then you're just gonna kind of like come in at the, you're gonna see like there's a slot right here where you could stick something in. You could stick something in there, or like from back here, and you just start popping it up, and it'll pop up in the fronts, and then the ones in the back are just holding it in place. So you wanna pop it from the back first, and then once you get all these popped up, you pull it out and then bring it over here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I got it. And then on the sides, you have these right here, but these just have rivets that just pop into place. Okay, and same thing on this side. Except the problem is all my rivets are broken. So if you guys can see, this is what I ended up doing for the power. I've got a cigarette lighter plug with a these are like banana jack inputs, and the nice thing about this is that you can twist, like if you open this up, there's a slot in there that you could put a bare wire through and then just secure it back down, and it holds it in place. So put those in place. You got your power and your ground. And then what I went ahead and did is I got some electrical tape, and I just went ahead and wrapped it around here just to keep it secure. So now we're gonna just go plug it up and see how it works. Nice. So that's with them closed, and then I could open them back up. All right, guys, so now let's see how it sounds with them closed. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but like I said earlier, this does have a Borla catback system, and it's hooked up to some shorty Cook's headers, and then there's a high flow cat in between them, and then it's got a stage 2, it's got a BTR stage 2 cam with an LSA blower, fully built internals. It's got a manly rotating assembly and all that, but I could do a separate video on, you know, just kind of doing a walk around of this car. But I just want to show you guys what it sounds like with the cutouts closed. Now let's go ahead and open up the cutouts. Alright. So that's what it looks like in there. That's how it sounds open. Sounds like with it open. I'm not really gonna get on it just because there's traffic out here. But sorry if there's a lot of wind noise. Let's see. And I'll do a little bit of downshifting for you guys. How about that? This is with it closed. Let's close the windows. So this is with them closed. And I'm gonna go ahead and open it. This video might be a little bit of a headache to watch, but I do appreciate if you got it this far. If you have any comments, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of comments, any remarks or any questions, please feel free to comment below. Let me know. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And as always, you know, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and share the content or whatever, so you could stay up to date here at So you could stay up to date with shenanigans here at Backyard Pit Stop. Thank you for watching.